Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Siska Ainingsih Sitorus.
Hello, my name is Fitra Malia.
Hello, my name is Putri Santrika.
We are from Group 6.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Siska Ainingsih Sitorus. Now, I will explain about how to translate text related to economics. Before, do you know about economic translation? Okay, the first I will explain about economic translation. Economic translation is one of the most difficult types of translation. Why is it so difficult? Yeah, because the translator cannot change the form and material of the original information. Economic translation requires us to have a lot of knowledge about expert abilities. First of all, we have to be professionals, should know the rules of the common sphere of translation, and have a bigger responsibility to be able to focus on even the smallest things. In translating text with many economics terms, the translator must also use a special dictionary that contains words related to economics. In this discussion, you will understand some of the terms related to economics in English and Indonesian. It's okay to translate text using Google Translate or other. But after that, we need to review the translation product. Why? Yeah, because Google Translate fundamentally has the original meaning of each of these words, especially those related to economics are also translated like that. Translators must be aware of this condition and be aware of the weakness of matching translation. After the translators know this weakness, translators must have to know how to solve this problem. The translator revises the grammar structure and choice of words in the translation product. When the translator does not know the meaning of some words which cannot be translated by Google Translate, the translator can consult the dictionary for certain terms or check the correct and common terms in this file on Google and Wikipedia. That's all for my explanation about how to translate text related to economics. And the next will be continued by my friend Fitri Amalia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fitra Malia and here I will explain part A2. This part, we discuss about the procedures and strategies in translating academic terms. But because this chapter, we discuss about economic terms, so in translating economic terms, create a potential problem of translation process due to the fact that terms have particular connotation and implication in the source language and foreign culture, but not necessarily in the target language and domestic culture. So this is why the reason we must have procedures and strategies in translating economic terms. So we have two procedures. The first one is direct procedures, and then we have indirect procedures. In direct procedure, we have three parts. There are loan transfer. It is the incorporating of one word in another language, and then we have loan translation. This is applies to syntax rather than lexical units, and then we have literal translation, as we know that this is the translation word by word. Okay, now we go to indirect procedures. In indirect procedure, we have 15 steps. The first one is transposition. It is obligate procedure that consists of replacing one grammar class by another without changing the meaning of the message. And then we have modulations. It is involves two types of translation technique. There are specifications and generalizations. And then we have adaptation. The aim of adaptation is to achieve the same effect that the work originally had, but with an audience from a different cultural background. In terms of mode of adaptation, the procedures may be classified as the first, omissions. It is the elimination or reductions part of the text. And then we have expansions. This is making explicit information that is implicit in the original, either in the main body or in footnote of glossary. And then we have updating. This is the replacement of outdated information that modern equivalent. Okay, next we have situational equivalence. It is the insertion of more familiar context than the one used in original. And then we have situational inadequacy, and this is where the context referred to in the search text does exist in the target culture. And then we have genre switching. It is a change from one discourse type to another. And then we have equivalence. It is if a specific linguistic unit of language carries the same intended meaning or message and encoded in a specific linguistic medium in another. We have additions. This is about the translation adds word or word combinations to specify the meaning. And then we have concretizations. It's used when something in the target language is usually expressed using concept with narrower meaning, or when preserving the original concept with broader meaning will result in an acquired translations. And then we have transformations. It is involves changing the word of words in the target text as compared to the search text. And then we have loss of meaning compensations. It is about involves adding to or reinforcing a target text in one place for something that has not been in a different place in the search text. After that, we have anatomic translation. This involves translating a clause or phrase containing a negation using a clause or phrase that does not contain negations and vice versa. And then we have sentence integrations. It is involves combining two or more sentences in one. And then we have fragmentations. This is involves splitting one complex or compound sentence in two or more simple sentences. And the last is we have conventions. It is a technique which involves making up for the loss of search text effect by recreating a similar effect in the target text through means that are specific to target. Okay, thank you. I think this is about my explanation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terms related to economic. Following there are some terms related to economic in English and in translation in Indonesia. Okay, the first is abstract way. In economic is menjauh. In general English is pergi. Accountable. In economic is dapat dipertanggungjawabkan. In general English is bertanggung jawab. As given. In economic is seperti sebuah ketetapan. In general English is seperti yang diberikan. Being clear. In economic is general English is menggelegar. Blueprint in economic is kerangka kerja. In general English is cetak biru. Compound rate in economic is suku bunga maksimum. In general English is tingkat maksimum. Roll out in economic is terdesak keluar. In general English is kerumunan keluar. Capital reversal in economic is perubahan arah pergerakan modal. And in general English is membalikkan modal. Demand delivery nature in economic is bentuk mengungkapkan permintaan. In general English is sikap mengungkapkan permintaan. Effectual rationing in economic is pola berpikir kreatif. In general English is penalaran yang efektif. Emerging in economic is berkembang. In general English is muncul. Embodied mind in economic is pemikiran yang terwujud. In general English is pemikiran yang terkandung. Forgo in economic is melewatkan. In general English is meninggalkan kebiasaan. And the last is hentok in economic is bertahan kokoh. In general English is tangan kuat.
Okay everyone, we think that's all about our explanation. Thank you so much for watching and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.